What's going on, everybody? Kalipus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is camera tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. In this video, I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks for this phone to help you get more comfortable with the camera. As always, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and other tips and tricks videos for it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a quick way to get to the camera. It's actually activated by default, so you don't even really need to do anything. All you need to do is double press the power key like this, and it's going to open right up. And this works no matter where you are on your phone. So if you're on, say, Peacock or something like that, and you want to open your camera, double tap, and there we go, right to the camera. It even works when your display is locked. So if we go like this, there we go. So definitely a nice convenient feature to have. And if you use something else besides the regular camera app, maybe you have Open Camera or even Snapchat or Instagram, you can use those too. All you need to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Advanced Features. Go to Side Key right here. As you can see, by default, it is set to Quick Launch Camera. Change it to Open App. And as you can see, I already selected Snapchat. Now if we double tap, it's going to open Snapchat instead. So again, definitely a nice convenient feature to have. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use your ultrawide camera. Now if you've never had a phone with an ultrawide camera, this might be a little confusing, but it's actually a really easy thing to do. All you need to do is tap on the little 0.5 right here. And as you can see, the angle is much wider, so you can fit a lot more in the frame. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the macro camera. This is the complete opposite of an ultrawide camera. Instead of getting a really wide angle, we're getting a really close-up detailed image. So to do this, we're going to hit more, and macro mode is right here, select this. And now you can get those really nice close-up detailed images. So in certain situations, the macro camera can definitely be useful. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to get high efficiency photos and videos. So this is basically going to change your file format. From photos, it's going to go from JPEG to HEIF. And for videos, it's going to go from an MP4 to an HEVC. So to do this, you're going to go to Settings. For photos, it's going to be right here. Turn on high efficiency pictures. And for videos, turn on reduce file size. So if you're taking lots of photos and videos and really want to save some room, this is definitely a nice thing to have. And some phones like iPhones, for example, even do this by default. But keep in mind, HEIF and HEVC files aren't always compatible with everything. So definitely before you do this, check to make sure if these files are compatible with whatever you're doing. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize the bottom bar down here. This is really useful if you're going to use something like macro mode really frequently and you want fast, easy access to it. So all you need to do is hit more right here. And this is going to take you to the menu with all the modes. From here, hit this plus. And now you can add or remove anything on your bottom bar, except for the regular photo and video modes, of course, but anything else is fair game. So for example, we're going to take out fun mode, add macro. Now, really important thing here, be sure to hit save, don't hit the back button, otherwise it's not going to change anything. And now if we go back to the normal camera, as you can see, macro mode is right here and fun mode is no longer here. The next thing I'm going to show you is what you can do with the volume keys. By default, it's basically going to be a physical shutter button, so if I press it now, it's going to take a picture. But you can also change what it does, so if we go to settings, go to shooting methods, and right here, we can change what it does. So by default, it's going to take a picture or record video, depending on what mode you're in. You can have it zoom in or out, or control the system volume, which is basically nothing. So for this example, we're going to do zoom in or out. And now if I go back to the camera, volume up is going to zoom in, and volume down is going to zoom out. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called floating shutter button. This is basically going to allow you to move the shutter button wherever you want on the camera. So if you're taking like a selfie or something at a more awkward angle, like this for example, you can make the shutter button a little bit more convenient to reach. So this is really easy. All you need to do is drag the shutter like this pretty much anywhere you want. So I'm going to put it right here. And now you basically have two shutters. The regular one still works, but you can use the other one just like normal. And if you want to get rid of it, all you need to do is drag it right back and it's going to go away. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your aspect ratio. So as you can see right here, my aspect ratio is 3:4, but you can also change it to 9:16, 1:1, or full, which full is basically going to be the aspect ratio of the entire screen, which in this case is 20:9. There's also 3:4 at 64 megapixels, which is the full power of the camera. You can use this if you want to get a really high quality photo, but keep in mind the file size for this is a little bit larger. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can change your video resolution. Now this phone maxes out at 4K at 30 frames per second, but if you're not used to the phone, it might be a little tricky at first to see actually what resolution you're in. So of course, first thing you're going to want to do is go to video mode. And the resolution is right up here next to the aspect ratio, which you can actually change. You can't do this on every phone, but with this phone, you actually can change to 1:1 or full, which I thought was pretty interesting because even much higher end phones like the iPhone 13, for example, can't do anything like that. But back to the resolution, as you can see right now, we're in full HD at 30 frames per second, which in case you don't know, full HD is 1080p. But if we go here, you can go to HD, which is 720p at 30 frames per second. Basically, you'll want to use this if you really want to save some space. So maybe if you're taking a super long video where the quality isn't too important. From here, we can also go to 1080p at 60 frames per second. And then Ultra HD, of course, is 4K, which is the max on this phone. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to take a live photo or a motion photo as they call it on this phone. So the icon for it is right here. And basically with this mode on, all you need to do is just take your picture like normal. And if we go to the photos, as you can see the motion. And that's pretty much it when it comes to using the feature, but I do want to kind of touch on what you use this for because there is a little confusion around it. A lot of people I know at least think that you use this to get a bunch of takes of one specific photo and then choose out of those frames which one you like the best. Now you can do that, I guess, but that's not what you want to use this for. That's a burst shot, and in case you don't know, you can take a burst shot by swiping down on the shutter, and that's going to take a bunch of pictures in a row, so you can choose whatever one you like the best. But a motion photo is a completely different thing. It's literally exactly what it sounds like. It's meant for capturing things in motion. So if you're taking a picture of like a car driving, a bird flying, something like that, motion photos allow you to capture it in a way where it's not just one giant blur. So just in case you didn't know, definitely something I took a really long time to figure out. So just keep in mind, if you want to capture something that's actually moving, use a motion photo. But if you just want to get a bunch of takes of something without rapid firing the shutter button, then that's a burst photo, which again is just swiping down on the shutter, and it's going to take up to 30 photos. But those were my camera tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found these tips and tricks useful as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you want to learn more about this phone, don't forget to watch my full review and other tips and tricks videos as well. But that's it for today. As always, I will see you in the next video.